an introductory video to the Clear Theology project or Clear Theo project. Now, the intention of these series of videos, and my hope is to probably at least from the beginning start with 56 videos, is to present a foundation to theology. And what I've found, as far as the need is concerned, especially for my Sunday school classes, is to create a series of videos that really serve as basic understandings of the faith and also as discussion starters for key areas of lessons that ought to be understood before moving on to the more advanced discussions about who God is. And another really cool thing about having a foundation of theology is that it gives you a framework to be able to sort out your thoughts. Now, not for everybody, of course, but for a good number of people, we've either heard things about God or we've gone to church long enough where, long story short, we've learned a lot about Him, but we haven't figured out a way to map all those thoughts together into one clear, complete picture. And that's really something that we want to start to paint, is a complete picture on who God is, at least to the best of our ability, when it comes down to the study of systematic theology. Now, with all this said, we really want to give major thanks to Wayne Grudem, who is the author of the text Systematic Theology, who gave us permission to use his lessons as the major foundational building blocks to the series of videos that we want to create. Now, our hope is that when you do watch these videos, that you're going to gain a deeper understanding on who God is. Now, some of the major areas that we want to cover, but not be restricted to, obviously, is, first of all, we want to make sure that we understand the Bible itself, the major form of revelation that God has given to us in helping us understand who He is. Also, we want to understand the doctrine of who God is Himself. We want to understand Christ in who He was and what He did. Next, we also want to understand the work and the person of the Holy Spirit, often neglected, but not today. We also want to understand the work of salvation. And finally, we want to understand the doctrine of the church. Now, these 6 areas, major areas, should be able to be covered. Now, there's other ways to breaking down the understanding of the teachings of theology, but these are what we're going to start with for the first 56 lessons or so. And each video is going to have some major objectives, and those are the last things we want to cover right now for every video. We want to see 3 things. First of all, we want to make sure that every video is clear. And what I mean by this is that anybody would be able to watch these videos. Meaning, it doesn't matter if you are a non-Christian, it shouldn't matter if you've had years and years of theology or not. We want to be able to present the basic doctrines of God in such a way that you won't need a dictionary by your side every single time to look up every other word. In other words, we want you to be able to share these videos with your friend if ever you have a question about the basics of the faith. Next, we want to make sure that each of these videos are short. And major reason for this is that it's good for you because it keeps you from falling asleep. But it also keeps us from adding too much unnecessary information into these videos. So our intention is to keep these videos around 5 to 7 minutes long. And that doesn't mean that later on we can't add level 2 or level 3 videos to the mix, just in the difficulty, increasing the difficulty later on. But at first shot, we want to make sure that we have the basics and the foundations laid down before we get into too much difficulty. Finally, we want to make sure that there is application in every one of these videos. And this is probably the most important part of this project, because we want to answer the question, why should I care? Now, this is probably a question that you secretly ask from every single video, from every single speaker that you listen to. Why should I pay attention? Why should I care what you have to say? And we want to make sure that when we go through each of these major doctrines, that you're learning something fundamental about who God is. And that's exactly what theology is. Theology is the thought of God, or the thoughts of God. And to know God in a personal way is very, very important in order to have a complete picture on who He is. We really do hope that you will be blessed by these videos, and we also hope that you would be able to use these videos not only in your own church, but also in your own personal study. Thank you very much, guys, and God bless. Hope to hear from us.